everybody, so today I'm going to be roasting some oolong. But what I'm doing here is I've selected a variety of oolongs that I'm going to roast here in the roaster. These different various teas will melt together to create an amazing roasted oolong. I'm going to give this tea a shake here. Look at all that dust there that is collected. I keep saving this dust and I'm going to make a kombucha with it, is one idea. So this is the tea roaster here, and I'm going to go ahead and crank this up to full blast. 200, thermostat says 200. You can see the roasting element there. There's 2 roasting coils and a thermometer. All right, so now we have the oolong. I'm going to guess it's about 12 to 15 pounds of oolong. It's about at this height here on that screen. We've got the roasting, the heating element here. The tea house is going to start to smell amazing. This is going to be fun. Day 2 of roasting this house roast oolong. Yeah, and so it's already starting to smell like a little bit honey-like, a little bit floral. So I'm roasting up the tea for the 3rd day in a row. Today is December 19th, 2024. Everyone that comes in to the tea house when the tea is roasting comments about that, just how amazing the tea house smells. So let's take a look at this tea here. All right, there it is. So after a pretty long break and letting this tea rest for several days due to the winter holiday, we're going to start roasting it again, and this is going to be day 4. All right, we'll let that go for about 15 or 20 minutes and then check in. Time to flip the oolong here. I do see some specks of caffeine floating around. As we roast the tea, caffeine comes off. It's released by the heat from the roaster. Coming up on day 5 of roasting some oolong here. Here's the tea leaf. I'm going to put it into our basket. Now every time you roast oolong, you do lose a little bit because the broken crumbs will sift out, as well as you evaporate some moisture in the tea. Not by very much, but there is some reduction there. And some of this caffeine is flying around. It is kind of nice because it does reduce the amount of caffeine in the tea. All right, so I'm going to let that sit on there for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then I'll go ahead and flip it. Okay, so it's still day 5 of roasting this batch of oolong. Looks like little dandruff floating around in the air. It's just caffeine. Day 6 of roasting this batch of oolong. It's important to let the oolong rest in between roasts. This is a process that takes several days. Baked cookies kind of notes to it. Day 6 of roasting this oolong. I let the tea rest overnight. We roasted it yesterday. Gonna roast it again today. This is day 7, so the tea is getting darker and darker. Roasted in about a 5-hour stretch per time. Sometimes 3 hours, sometimes 4, sometimes 6. It's not roasting the whole 7 days. It hasn't been roasting. I'll roast it, then I'll let it rest, roast, rest, roast, rest. So we take our time. We do that flipping action to basically get the tea that was on the bottom of the roaster rotated so it's not the same tea on the bottom. And that's what it looks like in the roaster in this sort of basket here. So it's getting near the end of the day, and I'm gonna go ahead and stop the roasting process for today. And I'm even gonna brew a little bit of this tea because it's starting to get nice and dark and it's starting to smell like something, like some transformation is really occurring here. So you can check this leaf out here, see how it looks. In the lidded cup. Just kind of eye it, doesn't really matter. It's gonna just test to see. I'm gonna give this a shake in this warmed cup here, and then I'll smell the aroma. It's nice and nutty. It's definitely coming along. It's come a long way. Pretty excited. I'm gonna pour out this first quick infusion here. Just combine that with that heating water. This is the quick and dirty of Gong Fu brewing here. There's no nice and toasty, nice and nutty. This one I'll let it steep a couple moments longer. Initially, I'm thinking that we're gonna want to go at least one more day here. That's really nice. Oh, meanwhile, I'm letting this tea steep for about 10 minutes. That'll be a good test now. Let's check this out. Fresh baked cookies, honey, dried flowers. We're getting there. We're getting close. How do I know when it's done? The way that I was taught is that you're supposed to be able to tell by the aroma in the air, the scent in the air when you're roasting tea. There's a certain kind of a smell. Rich note of a smell. It's day 7, I believe. As soon as I start to smell that nice, pungent, toasty oolong smell, I'll start to flip it. Day 8 of roasting this oolong, and we drank it last night at the end of the day, and it's coming along really well. It's really nice. In fact, it was so good that I'm going to drink a little bit this morning to get things going. Good morning, everyone. Day 9, and so far the only name that's really coming to me that seems appropriate for this tea right here is Celestial Season. That might be a name that's already in use, but maybe if I call it the Celestial Season Oolong. I've been brewing this tea for a couple days now. It's very nice. We've gotten a really positive response in the tea house here. This is about day 8 or 9, I want to say. I've totally lost track, so the video will be our documentation. Basically, yeah, we're just roasting this oolong. I'm going to roast this again, another day. This tea rested for about 4 days after roasting the last time. But I was drinking this tea with a friend over the weekend, and they asked me, well, what was I hoping to achieve by re-roasting and roasting again? What I'm hoping to achieve, a richer and darker and more full body, toastier, all around. It's gonna have more like a stone fruit, plummy, jammy, caramelized sugar, resinous wood. The next thing we're gonna do is taste some of the tea compared with some of what we started with, so you guys can see the progress so far. Brew these 2 oolongs side by side, High Mountain Green Oolong, and then this is the same tea that we've roasted now. So basically, yeah, this is going to be a comparison of these 2 teas brewed side by side, 5 grams each. We're going to brew them for the exact same amount of time, and then you guys will be able to see the color difference as well as the way that the leaf looks once it's opened. Greener or the less roasted, and then this is the darker, the more roasted. Alright, so these teas have steeped. Both 5 grams of tea, both 3-minute steeps, both same temperature water, same amount of Same amount of leaf versus water ratio. This one's going to be lighter. It's going to be more floral. It's greener. This one's oranger, redder, and slightly richer. This is going to be the unroasted. I can tell a color difference right here. So one of my favorite tea quotes, drinking is just to make sure. So we've done all this evaluation up to this point where we examine the leaf, we see the tea soup, the tea color, how if there's sheen, the brightness we can smell the brewed leaf. You can also use your spoon here to smell, or an aroma cup, something porcelain basically. We're smelling the residue left behind. That one is kind of buttery, kind of smooth, kind of creamy, some floral, dried flowers, textural, interesting notes to it. This one's more like nutty, more vibrant. It's cooked off some of the excess moisture that's inside the leaf there, and it's going to basically revitalize and bring that tea to life again. It's got some sugar, some really sweet, interesting, vibrant notes to it there. Drinking's just to make sure, and it is an enjoyable part of the process here. It's light, but it's got that slight storage flavor to it, where it's basically oxidized in the after production. So it's got a kind of a damp flavor to it, and kind of a muted from what it originally was. And this is tasting rich, crisp, some fruity notes, more like caramelized sugars, and this is it, everyone. After days of roasting, adjusting, waiting, the tea is finally ready. This journey started with a green oolong, but through careful roasting, it has transformed, deepened, matured, refined. The aroma has completely changed. Before it was bright, green, fresh. Now there's a warmth, richness, and layers of toasted sweetness. Roasting isn't just about adding heat. It's about adding complexity, bringing out hidden flavors, softening sharp edges, and creating balance. I love the smell of roasted oolong. It reminds me of toasted fresh baked cookies. Smooth, toasty, lingering sweetness, kind of a rosy quality as well. So the outcome I was hoping for, do away with some of the sharp edges from the green and end with this more balanced, more flavorful, and sweeter oolong. Mission success. Tea changes with time, and so do we. Roasting is about patience. It's about knowing when to apply heat and knowing when to let the tea rest. And the best results don't happen all at once. They develop layer by layer. I love this part of the tea journey. You take something good and you make it even better. This batch of oolong we've dubbed Celestial House Roast. It's pretty remarkable. I'm pretty excited about this tea actually. This is one of the best results from roasting we've achieved. There's almost like a licorice sweetness. There's caramelized sugar. There's baked apple. Some dried flowers.